Hello?
Hi, hello, this is Ray.
Yes, this is Tommy.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, Ray, this call is going to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. Be cool with that?
Yep, all good, all good.
All right, brother. How can I help you?
Okay, so first and foremost, how are you? How's your fiance? How's your family, loved ones? How are they doing?
Thank you, brother. Everything's good so far. How about
All
you?
right, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, everyone on my side is pretty doing pretty okay for the most part, so that's good.
Awesome. How can I help?
Okay, so if you remember me, I FaceTimed you when we were at the gym, and you helped me out previously. So with my situation, so thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
followed through. I actually today was the first day the money was invested into my SoFi account, and I have my vaults created. So thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate that. So now is um the next step of that is I wanted to ask you a question about taxes and if this makes sense. So the first question about taxes is, um, I usually have another party do my taxes. For the last couple years, I've been using Free Tax USA. That's
Okay.
been the main option to do my taxes. I just wanted to know, was there something that I'm missing? Where, like, for example, if someone has like a regular IRA and a Roth IRA, you might say like, hey, you might want to, opt into the Roth IRA option because it's just a bit more optimal. I just want to know, for doing for tax purposes, I see people that have booths at like Walmart and other locations. Do you have any direction as far as like, yep, this is a good website to use, or should I be using someone like at that, a local person or whatever the case may be to do my taxes? Is there anything that I'm missing?
So it sounds like you picked the person so far, the website you've been using, but now you're worried. Now you're worried, like, okay, is there anything better I can do? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's the thing, right? Taxes are simple until they're not, right? Eventually, it'll start to get more complex and more complex, especially, for example, when you own a business. That's what usually you might want to hire, for example, a CPA and get help like that, have them do all the work. But when it's just, for example, just you and like, let me ask you a question. You just have like a W-2 job, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you have a W-2 job, you have a few investments and so on. The website I used when I was in that position was basically TurboTax.
Hmm.
That's the website I used back then, back in college, for like the most part, until I got basically like a CPA that did everything for me because it got more complex, obviously. I have like more deductions. But that's the idea. What I use is TurboTax. Do I recommend them? I recommend them based on what I used to use them for, right? Basically just like simple taxes. I don't recommend you do like the whole like, because they have like a lot of upsells. So like, oh, make sure you don't get audited or all this stuff. No, just do like the basic stuff, get what you need, and then dip. That's all it is. Now, it also sounded like you asked me, Tommy, should I do a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA? Did you ask that?
Oh, oh, no, no, that was just an example because I just wanted to know if there was something and tax wise that I was missing out on
No,
where. Yeah.
no,
Okay.
you're good. You're solid. You're solid. Because the thing is, whenever you have a Roth, right, when you get
Hmm.
paid money, you get paid, you pay the tax automatically, right? I'm guessing to take out your check?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I get that. I was just saying for an example
Yeah.
for the Roth. Okay.
Yeah,
And
you're solid.
thank
So,
you. Okay, thank you for that. And the other question I have is, if you remember from the last time we spoke, um, previously, so like, months and months and months before the last time we spoke, I mentioned that I have around $4,000 invested into the stock market on the Robinhood app, like outside of
okay.
M1 Finance and the Roth IRA and everything, just
Mm-hmm.
like strictly stocks. My question is, um, would it make sense to sell everything in there
Mm-hmm.
except for I do want to keep some of my investment in Bitcoin. I know I'm not trying to necessarily get rich. If it happens, great. If
Yeah,
I lose the money,
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
should I sell the other the rest of the stock investment I have in there, like the rest of my portfolio, take
Okay.
the take the fee hit because for a good amount of them it would have been less than a year. Take the
Okay.
fee hit and then use that to kind of kickstart my emergency fund, or should I just have everything just chill, just sitting there, and then after a year take it out, and then go from there. And you also have a video up that I wanted to check out about. You can get up to what $3,000 on your stock losses because there were previous
Mm,
stocks took a loss on, like DoorDash and other things of that nature. I just want to know what makes sense as far as that goes.
Okay. So the first question is, do you have debt or you don't have any debt?
I actually just wiped away my debt today. All
So
of
you
it, all
have
my credit card
zero
debt and
debt.
everything.
You have no debt. You're done.
Yeah.
All right. So let's make sure this doesn't happen again, right? As far as your credit cards, use the one bill method, meaning you put one small bill on each credit card. Automated bills, you set it to auto pay in full. Grab the credit cards, you cut them. You'll build credit. You won't get into debt again. I promise you. If you do that exact thing I'm telling you. On
Mm-hmm.
top of that, as far as, for example, tell me, I have investments. Okay, this is interesting. I have investments, and I don't know if I should hold them or basically sell them and then build up my emergency fund. Well, the truth is this, guys, right? Well, Ray, it sounds like, oh, you have like this idea of like, okay, if I do this now, I do this later. The idea is that if I told you, Ray, you have a 50-50 chance that next year you'll have less than half your money in there, or you'll have all the money you have right now. It's the idea of one bird in the hand and two in the bushes, what you're talking about. So the question is, do you have enough confidence in those investments? And I'm guessing you don't because you're planning on selling them and you're asking me this question. If you don't have enough confidence in those investments, what's to say that next year, or by the time you actually get the long-term tax deduction from those investments, by the time you do that, what's to say they're not going to be, for example, worth half than what they are right now? Does that make sense?
Yeah, like there's no guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guarantee if you know exactly what you were doing, right? But if you're asking me, Tommy, I don't know. You know, I'm also investing into Bitcoin. I have these stocks here, individual stocks, right? I don't know if it's going to be around for a while because the market right now is hot. So everything is just going up. Doesn't really matter what you invest into. It's just going to go up. So if I were in your position, what would I do? Well, a man's character shows when he has to pivot, right? And you have to pivot now. So what would I do? I would say, okay, I bought these investments without knowing what I was doing. That's obvious, right? So I might just want to go ahead and sell it, build up my emergency fund, and that's fine. I also want to keep, for example, maybe 10% of my net worth or whatever you have currently in Bitcoin. That's fine too. But I'm also happy you understand that basically you could lose all that money by tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
what are your current expenses per month? Do you know?
Yes. My current expenses per month, it equates to around $1,400.
$1,400, which means if you want to get, for example, a solid 6-month emergency fund, you would need somewhere around $8,400. So
Okay.
if you were to sell everything you have right now, you would be halfway through, and that's it. You're solid. Now, the idea is, by the way, would I recommend that? Would I do that? If I did not trust the investment I have, I would sell it, obviously, right? If I wait, for example, one more year, but I don't know the true value, what if it gets adjusted, or we have a correction, or we go into depression, whatever happens, right? In 1 year, that can happen. Then I can lose a ton of my money, then I'm stuck there waiting for a long, long, long time, and I don't want that. So that might be an option for you. But once you do fund this emergency fund, maybe even halfway, remember, the goal is every time you get paid, you put between 10 to 20% into the emergency fund until it builds up, for example, to 6 months, until it's fully funded. While you're doing that, you're also going ahead and also investing 10 to 25% or 20% into your Roth IRA. That's the idea, right? If any money left over can go into expenses, into fund, into charity, and so on, right? But the big part that you're on right now is on the foundation system, where you have to build a foundation, which is your emergency, and you start investing. So I recommend basically, since you already have SoFi, just automate everything. Do you use M1 Finance also?
Yes, I have M1 Finance. I have my Roth IRA. I copied your portfolio. Again, today is all the quote unquote bad credit card debt is eliminated, and I have my I don't have it in front of me, but I have my my budget spreadsheet for the vault for it to go into the vault and everything.
Okay. Do you understand my portfolio?
Yes, it's very balanced. It's very balanced out. So no matter which side the market kind of flip flops in, it's guaranteed to get, well, not guaranteed, but a really, 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 really high chance that we'll get the return. And again, I read the book you recommended, the little book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle. So
awesome. Yes, you're solid. Because one thing I'm a big fan of is like you might do. It's not about what I do, but it's why I do it, and you understand that. So that's awesome. Overall, man, my advice would just be right now, you're in a good spot. But the one thing is just automation. Automate everything. So if you have SoFi, you can have SoFi, you can have M1 Finance for your like Roth IRA right there. Have M1 Finance automatically pull, for example, the 10% or 20% it needs for your investments, right, into your Roth. And then have, for example, wherever you hold your emergency fund, have it automatically pull from SoFi also, or in the vaults also, you can set that up. Automatically pull every time you get paid the money needed to actually start funding it. Now, one thing, that's why I always say, for example, you can have SoFi for like other vaults, but I usually recommend Wealthfront when it comes to emergencies, because that way I know for sure the money is somewhere else and you're not going to be able to use it. Because sometimes something happens and you might just want to use this money instantly. But if it's separate, you're not going to use it for anything else. So if you want to have wealth funds automatically pull, for example, from SoFi, the money for emergencies, awesome. Awesome. Whatever money's left over, for example, in your spend balance, after it goes into your vaults, that's money for you can spend without having to worry about anything. Does that make sense? But it's all automated. So whenever you get paid, you're not thinking about it and having to break everything down every single time because you already did all that work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say no. That makes a lot of sense. And I have my phone bill or my internet bill. I have that automated. I have.
You have that on your credit cards?
No. I actually for the internet bill, Verizon has a situation set up where if it comes directly from your checking account, they'll take $5 off your bill. So I have that automated directly out of my well, it was TD, but now it's being switched over to SoFi. So yeah, so I get that $5 reduction in my bill every month. And also, all of my bills essentially are automated, with the exception of my rent, which is a check, which I opted to get the free checks from SoFi, so now I can just write it, and then I don't pay any additional fees or anything.
And remember, right, when it comes to like the rent payments, if you pay like $1,000 in rent, every time you get paid, have the vault automatically pull that $250 if it's weekly, or $500 if it's bi-weekly. So that money's on the side for your rent, right? The point is automation. As far as like credit cards, how many do you have?
I have around maybe like 7, and the ones I do the categories. So for example, for this month for Discover, gas stations. So I use that one for gas stations to get the 5% cashback bonus, and then when it switches to grocery stores, I use that credit card for grocery stores to get the 5% cashback. And that's how I use them. Yeah.
What's your goal with credit? What do you want to do with credit?
The thing I want to do with credit is right now with the credit cards, I just want to maximize the 5%, not overspend, but when I do spend within that category, so like the grocery stores and then the gas stations and then PayPal for things that I just need to buy, and PayPal is PayPal. So
how much do you owe before on credit card debt?
How much did I owe before?
Yeah.
It was around, I'm gonna say like $7,000. And if you remember from last time, that's when life happened. $2,800 for car repairs, $1,200 for wisdom teeth removal and everything. So, and I just wasn't on my job. I mean, as simple as that. And then it snowballed. So, got rid of that, paid it off aggressively, and as of today, my rent is $1,200.
So I asked you earlier your expenses for the month. You said $1,400.
The $1,400 includes the internet bill, which is $69.99, the phone bill and everything. So roughly
$1,400 is all you spend, because $1,200 is your rent. Then $200 is going towards, for example, food, transportation, utilities. Is that what you're telling me?
Actually, let's bump it up to like about $1,500 because for gas, I actually live about like 8 minutes away from my job, and I work virtual at times, and it's just myself. So
what I'm gonna need is this, Ray. What I'm gonna need is this, Ray. Right? I want you to take just a week, and I want you to write down every time you spend money, right? And I want you to give me a realistic budget, because I'm pretty sure that you spend a little bit more than this, right? Because like food is a big thing, and you know this. So I want you to have a realistic budget, so you can not to be perfect, but to understand like the basic idea of how much money you spend. Because in reality, right? Let's do the math here. if you spend 1,300, I mean 1,500, and your rent is
Mhm.
1,200, you have left, for example, $300 in spending. Even
Mhm.
for example, if you were to use all that money every single year times 12 times 0.05, you're making, for example, $180 in credit card points at a 5% rate. And you're making all this effort for this, you know, and last time you went into debt by $7,000. So in this case, that's why I'm saying it might not be worth it to play this game like this, okay? That's why usually what I do is, and the point I'm making is this, okay? I care about you. So what I don't want you to do is to relapse back into what you were. Because sometimes you clean everything up, and then before you know it, it's like you ever had a desk and you clean it up, and before you know it, it's back to being messy.
Yep.
That can happen also with the whole credit card thing. So my point is this: instead of like trying to play the game of like, oh, 1 month is gas, like the 1 quarter, because I have the same credit card too, but I don't play the game, and the next month is groceries, and then this and that. Instead of playing that game, keep 3 credit cards or 4 credit cards. Put a small bill on all of them and cut them. Use your debit card for your spending. You're gonna be missing out on $180 per year, but it doesn't matter because you just focus on, for example, on your investments and growing your wealth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't want you to relapse, bro. I don't want that.
No, no, no. That makes a lot of sense because if it happened before,
It
and
can
it
happen
happened,
again.
yeah, it can happen again, and you're definitely speaking to the mental aspect of it, and it makes a ton of sense. The 180 isn't worth it.
Yeah, and a big thing is that I can tell by your voice that, Tommy, life happened to me once, can happen to me twice. So I know that's why you feel like, Tommy, I need to have this emergency fund. So if anything does happen, I can be taken care of. I understand that. I feel that. So if I were in your shoes, me personally, I'd probably sell those investments that I don't feel sure about and build my emergency fund, and just basically keep investing towards the correct things. That's what I
Hmm.
would do. And by the way, emergencies are for like crazy things. I lost my job, my mom passed away, I broke a leg, I have a medical bill. Those are things that are unexpected. As far, for example, your car breaking down or things with insurance and so on, you can make, for example, like a $20 to $50 like little side account and like SoFi for those things right there. Like that a little fun because a car is machinery, so you should expect it to break down. You might get into an accident, it's a part of it, right? So you should expect
Hmm.
all those things to go wrong. But as far as like your mom passing away or you losing your job, or you can't expect that, right? You don't know when that's gonna happen. But cars usually have like a lifeline, you know. So put aside maybe like $20 to $50 a week whenever you get paid. Put it to the side. Once it gets to a good amount where you feel comfortable with that maintenance for that car, or like anything happens to you, also you can also keep that there. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does.
That way, like if a real emergency happens to you and Murphy's law helps, like beats you up basically. Murphy's law is like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That way you have a full blown
Mhm.
emergency account, but you also have like little things for your car and little maintenance and all these other things.
Okay.
All right, brother. But you're doing great, man. You're out of debt and you're moving to step two. Step two is foundation and wealth building. It's all about just building the emergency account and basically just working towards this starting your investments. But investments are like priority two. Priority one is getting the emergency account fully funded. Once you have that foundation, you'll have more confidence to just keep investing more and more and more and saving up for that down payment if you want to buy a home.
No, no, absolutely, and I greatly appreciate it. And just as a quick recap,
Mm-hmm.
so I did, I did what I need to do in step one, and for step two, for this phone call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Robinhood app. I'm going to sell the investments that I have
Mm-hmm.
very limited information
when
about,
you
which
when
is
you sell
essentially.
them when you sell them, remember though, right, you're gonna be expect the tax, right? You're gonna be taxed, so make sure to take the money that's gonna be taxed appropriately according to your tax rate right now. It's gonna be ordinary income, and set that money to the side. For example, in SoFi, make a vault for it called stock tax. Put it in there. So for example, it'll probably be somewhere like 30%. So if you sell $4,000, set aside, for example, that point 30, that's around $1,200. Put it aside for taxes.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
thinking of this right now. A vault tax and then around 30%.
Yeah, just put it like it's probably like more than you need, but it's better to have more than not to have enough.
Okay, and um, since I'm selling them this year, the upcoming taxes, because I still need to do my taxes. Will I when I if I sell the stocks today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to file those part of my taxes for this year, or would that be for next year?
Next year, it'll be for
Next.
this year, obviously, right? Like 2021, but you file 2021 taxes next year.
Yeah. Okay. So Quick recap. I'm gonna make that additional vote for stock taxes. I'm gonna sell all of them in the Robinhood app, with the exception of the ones I have in Bitcoin. I'm gonna keep them and just
How much money
basically
do you have
hold
in
on to them
Bitcoin?
forever. I have around $1,500. It's in the positive, and again, I just plan on just keeping that.
How much money have you made on Bitcoin?
Right now I'm plus 397.
So you recently just made this investment.
Yeah, I made it actually before, but then again, that's when I was like super naive, selling stuff for the profit, and then I was like, oh wait, and then yeah. So, but this money right now, it's been in for a couple months, so
Okay.
it's just been chilling.
Here's a rule I follow, right? And I want you to follow this rule very carefully. The idea is this money is plain money, right? You can lose all of it. So you don't put more money into it, and that's it. And when you sell it, keep that money in there and keep having fun with that money. Because a part of you and a part of me also, part of all investors, just wants to be a little speculator, right? And that's fine. You're speculating. That's what you're doing. But keep that money in there. So, for example, when you do sell, if you do sell for a profit, and say, for example, you have, for example, $2,000 now, use that money and keep having fun with it, right? But don't add any more money to that ever. Just keep, for example, focusing on your Roth IRA. If you maxed it out, then move on, for example, to your 401k or Roth 401k, and so on and so on.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna create that vote. I'm gonna sell all those stocks with the exception of in the Robinhood app, that is, with the exception of Bitcoin. I'm not gonna add any more money into it. I'm gonna just kind of let it do its thing, and I'm also going to continue to prioritize my emergency fund and my Roth IRA to max that out, and then from there. I'm gonna move on to just to continue to do that, because I know that's gonna be a bit of a process.
Remember the credit card stuff, man. Stop playing that points game.
All right, and with the credit cards, I have them automated on my laptop too, so I'm gonna unautomate them. Like when you on your MacBook, or if you whatever computer you have, it's already like synced in and everything.
I
So
removed it from my Apple Pay, remove it from everywhere, from Uber, from everything you have. Just remove all of them out of your debit card. And just for example, you have your phone bill, you have, for example, like maybe Spotify, iTunes, Netflix, whatever it is, like little things. Just put it on there. Like put like 3 bills on each credit card, like one bill. Set it to auto pay. The ones that you don't use, you can close them down. You'll take, for example, like a little hit now, but later, like it'll just like even out, because even by the time you start to buy a house, maybe like in a year or two, it'll be back to normal. Sometimes people get freaked out by little points being deducted from your credit, but in reality, if it doesn't help you, why have it in the first place? Because eventually they'll get closed down for inactivity. So it's up to you on how you want to do that.
Okay, and something else really quick, because I plan on opening or officially starting my private practice in 2 weeks. Like I already did all the paperwork and everything like that. So in like another week or two is going to be officially up and running. And I also started doing DoorDash, and I said in my mind, for more quote unquote fun money, if I can do DoorDash and just and make DoorDash anything I make on DoorDash, make it my funny money. You think that makes sense?
No.
Okay.
The idea is that fun money should only be 1% at this current stage. It's just 1% of what you make. Now, why? I want you to taste it, but I don't want you to fall, for example, into a false complacency of saying like, oh, I can have fun with. No, you're not there yet. You gotta want it. So in order to want it, you gotta be prioritizing everything and then working towards what you actually want. So that means, for example, if your priority right now is if you're doing DoorDash plus your job and you're gonna start like your private practice or whatever, the idea is all that money should go towards, hey, let me bulk up my emergency fund quickly, keep investing, save up money for my down payment. And once you're done with all those things, bro, once you're like actually done with like financial freedom, you can take 30 to 40 to 50% of your money and have fun and do whatever you want to do. At that point, you've made it. But for right now, I want you to just get a taste for having fun. If you're making, for example, $2,000 a month, multiplied by 0.01%, that's only like around $20. That's it. It's just a taste. That's like maybe like extra guac at Chipotle, right? It's a taste. But for example, when you buy your home, you pay it off in full. You have, for example, everything you need. Your emergency fund is funded. Your investments keep going up and keep going up. When you have none of those things and you make, for example, $2,000, half of that is going to be $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
But you have real security. I'm not saying, for example, and by the way, the budget is not rigid, right? You set it to your pace. That's why it's like all based on ratios. So if you say, Tommy, I don't want to go that crazy. Maybe I want to up it up to 5%. You can if you want to. I don't recommend it. But just make it so your priority is always going to be emergencies and investment. That is your main priority. And if you have fun right now, you can if you want to. But there's a lot of ways to have fun without money, right? You have your relationship with your family, with your friends. If you want like a girlfriend or your wife, whatever. Like, it's a lot of ways to have fun, but it doesn't have to be like monetary. Monetary, your money's supposed to be doing a job for you right now.
Okay. No, that makes sense because, right now, for the stage I'm at right now, emergency fund, number one, and then 1A would be the trying to max out the Roth IRA, and then from there, just kind of getting the flow going, and then when that's finally established, when emergency fund is finally like at a nice clean spot of about 6 months of living expenses and everything, then I can start to kind of up it a bit.
Yeah, I remember, right? If you're spending, for example, 4 hours or a day, or like 20 hours a week on DoorDash, that's hard work. It's not like the craziest work ever, right? But you're literally in your car all day, like taking people's food, delivering food and all that stuff. And then you want to go ahead and waste that money, for example, on something you're not going to get back. It's money that it has to come. It's your time, right? So your time is valuable. So you got to use that money to produce something for you. That's the idea. By the way, you need to have a balance. I always say health, wealth, love, and happiness. Have that balance every single day. Go out with friends, go bike riding, do all those activities, right? But if you're spending that much time of your day doing DoorDash, don't waste that money.
Okay.
It's your time, bro.
No, it definitely makes sense. And I had like a strategy planned out for DoorDash, but no, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. No, what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
And what's your private practice on? I forgot. Sorry.
Oh, I'm a mental health therapist, and I'm opening up a private practice in New Jersey, and I'm gonna do via telehealth, and that's the
But you're keeping your job though, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me do you a solid here. It's possible that you can keep your job and just focus all your energy in your private practice, and maybe not do DoorDash. It'll take you a little longer to build everything up, but this way you can focus 100% on this private practice, and it'll build up a higher ROI in the end. Does that make sense?
Yep, that was actually the plan. DoorDash was I was doing DoorDash until the private practice was up and running again. It'll be another week or two, but because an hour of doing that will pay me way more than an hour of doing DoorDash.
And just make sure overall, man, you're enjoying what you do. You have your purpose and health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? Like, this money stuff is cool, man, but it's just like once you automate it, like, you still have a whole life to live because it's supposed to be automated. Not supposed to worry about it that much. You check on it like maybe once a week or twice a week. That's it. So make sure you're doing everything else. Take care of your health and all that stuff. You're solid.
Absolutely. I hit the gym. I'm in constant contact with friends, all of that.
Yes,
And remember, I asked you about your anime. I was like, yo, what anime are you rocking with? And
bro.
Everything. By the way, Yu Yu Hakusho, like, that's like, one of the goats of the anime.
Attack on Titan just finished yesterday. Did you hear?
Oh, wait, yeah, I heard. To be honest, I was not like I like watching it more so than reading it, but I heard some wild stuff happen in the manga as well.
I'm like you, so I watch it. I didn't read it, but my cousin called me and told me, "Hey, Tommy, it's done. I'm not happy." But yeah, brother, look, appreciate this call a lot. Thank you for the call. And like, look, bro, you're solid, right? You're doing a great job. Just don't overthink it. And remember, right? Every dollar you earn, that's your time, right? That's your time. And don't wait to do anything that you want to do, right? If you want to have fun, and be creative about it. That's all it is. Just be creative. And remember, right? Certain games that you play are just not worth it. I play all those games. I get $180 every single year from this cashback thing, but I'm trying my best not to go back into $7,000 in debt, right? All right, brother. I look forward to our next call, Ray.
Thank you, Tommy. I definitely appreciate it. Wishing love, peace, and all that, and health and all that good stuff to you and your loved ones. And thank you. You definitely helped me out, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. I definitely appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, brother. Have fun.
All right. You too.
All right. Peace out. All right, guys, so that right there was Ray. And it's always amazing, right? When I, by the way, if you guys want to call me 3 times, 4 times, I don't care. Just keep calling me. I will keep answering the calls, right? Because the whole point is, if I can help, I'll help. That's what my mission is. So help you however I can, whenever I can, okay? That's the idea. So overall, I always get happy seeing someone making progress. But sometimes, for example, you have like these little things here like, oh my gosh, but I want to get these points. But then when you do the math, like long term, with your expenses, you're making like around 180 bucks every single year. And by the way, 180 divided by 12, you're making like around 15 bucks by doing all this work. Is it worth it? The answer is no. Last time you went to debt for 7K. Do you want to go into that? No. So just stay away from certain things, right? That's the way I do things, and that's why I do what I do. The only way to make it worth it is basically, if your credit card is making you maybe $5,000 a year, that's different. But then even at 5%, you have to spend, for example, well, what is it? Like $5,000 a year divided by 0.05, which means you have to be spending around $100,000. Are you gonna do that? The answer is no. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a game of pennies that I just don't play. I'll see you guys next time. If you want to join me in my next call, we'll make a schedule down below. I answer calls from Monday to Friday, and all my calls are free, and they're 30 minutes. So I'll talk to you, advise you, anything I can do to help, I'll help, okay? And also, I have a second channel, and also my first channel, the main channel, and the reaction channel are also linked down below. Go subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. As always, like and subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. That's the only way I know you like these videos, and I'll keep making them, okay? Also follow me on Instagram at Bryson. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and peace.